Welcome back to Season 2 of the Great Movie Ride Imagineers and those watching from afar. As you can see, we're still here in Hong Kong, and while my co-host Hulk and I are out enjoying the sights, your work here is far from done. First though, congratulations on the successful shooting of your very first scene by expanding on Disney's Dark Kingdom over at the Hong Kong Disneyland Resort. A job well done by each of your studio teams getting that film in the can, so to speak. There's one more scene to film here in Hong Kong, as the producers have us booked for our next location. We've got to keep a tight schedule, so grab your gear and let's get going. This week we're filming on Hong Kong Island, about 40 minutes away from the Disneyland Resort. Situated on the southern tip of the island and covering well over 200 acres sits Ocean Park, Hong Kong's second largest theme park, and our scene for this week. Opened in 1977, Ocean Park has one of the more spectacular settings you'll see in a theme park given the terrain that it covers. Normally in the top 20 worldwide in attendance, the park has struggled in recent years with attendance and concerns over some exhibits. A massive influx of funds starting in 2005 coincided with the opening of the Hong Kong Disneyland Resort and saw a large expansion of the park into what it mostly is today. More recently though, the park has started a major overhaul with the addition of a water park and closures of multiple rides and lands as it makes a marked shift in the park's offerings and direction. But before we go through the script and shooting schedule, let's check out our feature film for this week. This week's film is Godzilla vs. Kong. Released in 2021, this follow-up to 2017's Kong Skull Island and 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters was one of the first big blockbuster movies released during the COVID era and saw two of the big screen's largest creatures square off on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the ocean and, of course, Hong Kong. Far from a classic like 1933's King Kong or 1954's Godzilla, the film accomplishes largely what it needed to. Give us some pretty epic fight scenes between the two titans and later letting them team up to take on Mechagodzilla. The humans in this story are for the most part filler, with a few serving as the true villains of the film. Notable cast members include Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Brian Tyree Henry, and Kyle Chandler, who's long removed from his days coaching the Dillon Panthers. Hong Kong itself doesn't make out too well, which is understandable considering it being ground zero for the clash, but visually provides a great backdrop for the action from the waterfront to the city center. All in all, a solid movie just to kick back with a bag of popcorn and watch some giant beasts fight and destroy things, before Godzilla heads back out to sea. While we won't be dealing with kaiju and evil corporations this week, our challenge does involve a bit of a rebuild in the nearby ocean as we head back to Ocean Park. As mentioned before, the park is at the beginning stages of a major transformation, and while some like the new water park are already open, others are still in the early planning and construction phases, and we want to give you the chance to make your mark on the park in keeping with the general direction, but in a different manner than what they have planned. Changes planned include the transformation of the lower park into an admission-free area with retail, dining, and entertainment. More importantly, for our purposes, and where we'll focus this week, the closure of multiple lands and attractions with plans to turn them into a wellness and adventure zones. The goal of these new areas being to make the resort more of a leisure and resort destination, and a renewed focus park-wide on education and conservation. Our focus for this scene will be on the former area known as Adventureland, two of the park's more iconic attractions previously called Adventureland Home. Raging River, a log flume from Aerodynamics that opened in 1984, and the Wild West Mine Train, a steel coaster built in 1999 by Zamperla that provided tremendous views of the Aberdeen Channel. Both were closed in August of 2021. Slated to become the new adventure zone with ziplining and other outdoor activities, we'd instead like to see the return of a true theme park attraction to this space to replace what was lost. In addition, we'd also like to see a new world-class exhibit brought to the park, in keeping with the park's theme and focus on education and conservation. And that is your task for this first scene, Imagineers. Design an exhibit and an attraction for Ocean Park using the roughly 4 acres of land previously occupied by the Wild West Mine Train within the former Adventureland. The land area does come with its challenges, but also the opportunity to create something truly memorable with its prominent location overlooking the Aberdeen Channel. Projects are due June 11th at 11:59 p.m. Walt Disney World time. And with that, our Scene 2 is underway. You have your shot list and your script. Stay on budget. The clock is ticking. Good luck, Imagineers.